watch. I'm just trying to 6:59. Oh, out of 5. So good. I'm just waiting. There we go. Thank you very much. Commissioners and those in attendance, we will now call to order the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Fairburn for Tuesday, July 11th. I'd like to now ask for a determination of quorum from our city attorney. I believe it's to you or to Denise. Do we have a quorum?
Do, but I will go ahead and with the attendance. Commissioner Devers? Yes, here. Commissioner James?
Present.
Commissioner Jones?
Present. Awesome. Thank you very much. If we would all rise and face the flag over here for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. Commissioners, I assume you received your packets for review. I would now like to ask for a approval of the meeting agenda that was presented for you.
Commissioner James, I have a motion that we accept the meeting agenda for this evening.
Commissioner Devers, second the motion.
We have a motion to approve the meeting agenda for today's meeting and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Next agenda item is the approval of the meeting minutes from our previous meeting, the approval of the May 2nd, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Again, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from our May 2nd meeting?
Mr. Chair, may we approve the minutes for the May 2nd, 2023 meeting?
Here first, do I have a second?
Second.
Awesome. So I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Next is our public comment. I will now open the period for public comment. Please reserve your comments related to a specific agenda item, so we have some agenda items as well, for when I call for them. So this is just sort of open public comments. Comments to the Planning and Zoning Commission should be limited to no more than 2 minutes. Groups wishing to address an issue should select one or more spokesperson. The time allowed for all issues shall not exceed a total of 15 minutes. Issues raised at this time are generally referred to the Director of Planning and Zoning for review. Responses will be provided at a later date. Once again, please reserve your comments if you have any related to a specific agenda item for later in the meeting when we go over that agenda item. Just any public comments? Okay, no public comments. Thank you very much. Currently under old business, we don't have any agenda under the old business, so we can kind of move on to the main event. So for new business, we'll now move on to that portion of the agenda. Our first item for new business is as follows. The concept plat for Living Word Church Ministries Incorporated. The applicant is William O'Neill. The address is 0 Sonoya Road with a parcel ID of 09F1002000471368, and that is a request to review the plat. Staff, I'll now ask you to present the staff analysis and recommendations. It's quite exciting for hosts, isn't it?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Tonight we'll be presenting 2 requests. The first request is to review the subdivision plat of 0 Sonoya Road, and the second request is to review the concept plan and building elevations of the new Living Word Church. It is worth noting that applicant William O'Neill has concurrently submitted a request to review this subdivision plat and the concept plan. Mr. O'Neill has submitted complete applications for both requests, and staff has made recommendations. First up is the subdivision plat, and we will go over the site. This is the site. The site is located at 0 Sonoya Road on the eastern side of the intersection of Sonoya Road and Valley Brook Drive. The site is currently zoned R1, single-family residential. It's located in the Georgia Highway 74 Overlay District. The site is approximately 9.03 acres and is currently undeveloped woodlands. This is what the site looks like today. They have included an accurate, up-to-date, and certified survey. And the applicant is proposing a subdivision of the site into 2 sites, tract number 1 and tract number 2. Tract number 1 will be 1.95 acres and will be developed into a place of worship. Tract number 2 will be 7.07 acres and will remain undeveloped woodlands. The subdivision plat includes setbacks, buffer easements, utilities, and other required infrastructure. Staff recommends approval of the subdivision plat with the condition that any significant modifications as determined by staff to the approved subdivision plat would necessitate a further review by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So now I will entertain questions from the commissioners for the staff regarding this request. Commissioners?
I'm not sure. Is the applicant going to speak this evening?
Yeah.
Is there a
applicant will
plan?
speak, Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this is our chance we can ask
Okay.
questions to staff. So I'll ask a question. The first one, right, so from a procedural perspective, as we review this, right, there are 2 things, right? There's just a general review of the plat and then as well as the subdivision, right? So that's 2 things kind of being combined into one. That's the way that I read it. Is that correct?
It'll actually be 1 site that will be divided into 2 separate.
But I'm just from what we're voting on here this evening, right? There's 2 separate
Yes,
things,
2
but the
separate
applicant
agenda
brought
items.
those together at the same time, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I don't have any questions. I'd love to hear from the applicant.
Okay, great.
Questions waiting to hear from the applicant.
Okay, absolutely, right? So since there's no questions from the commissioners to staff, right, this is now the opportunity for the applicant to come forward, if they so choose, to address the commissioners.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is William O'Neill, and I have the privilege of serving as pastor of Living Word Church Ministries, and we are the applicants. I'm coming, and the reason we are dividing the tracts, from a few years ago, about 3 years ago, we made a request to build the church on that property, and the city council did approve for us to use that property for church development. Our goal is to build debt-free, which is why we are developing the 2 tracts. If we build the full plan that we were initially planning to build, we would be required to address that Irwin Road. It's a dirt road that goes down beside, it's kind of parallel to Valley Brook. And we don't have the resources to do that. So we wanted to divide the tract into 2 so that we can just build on the 1.9, short of 2 acres of property, and do it debt-free. We have built the resources to do this, but we don't have the resources to pave that Irwin Road. So we're hopeful that you all will approve this. That way we leave the other part undeveloped until we do have the resources to be able to build the entire property out. You all have any questions about?
Questions now from the commissioners to the applicant?
Ironically, that was my question. That was my question.
Are there plans to, like you said, expand at some point, right? So from a campus-type perspective, is that the ultimate end goal, to do that, but also do it debt-free?
Yes. The building that we were originally planned to build, after COVID, with regard to developing the resources and things of that nature, we're not in position to do it. And we didn't want to start something that we couldn't finish. So our goal was to bring the plans down or scale them down so that we can stop leasing and renting facilities and build on the property. We purchased the property debt-free about 10 years ago. Well, is it quite 10? 6 years ago, somewhere in there. We purchased the property, so now the goal is to build on it debt-free.
Awesome.
And so, Pastor O'Neill, you said you're renting right now? Are you in?
Well,
Fairburn?
right now, we were renting right here at 114 West Campbellton, but that property is now being turned into a autism school. So we were no longer able to lease that facility, and we could not find anywhere else in Fairburn to lease. So our decision was to go ahead and build at this time a structure that we could afford to build, and then later we'll turn that over to maybe Teen Church or use it for some other kind of community development project.
Okay, so that was my question, Mr. Chair, was what were your possible intentions in the future for the remaining part? So you just answered that for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No questions?
No further questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And this question here for staff, right? We're going to voting once, or vote on both of them, just from a procedural perspective.
We can still do the presentation on the concept as well as.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just that's totally fine.
Just point of order,
Yes,
Chair,
point
because these are two separate agenda items, you do need to have two separate motions.
Sure. That's what I thought. Absolutely. Okay. Perfect. So there are no additional questions here. I will now call this item to a vote. Commissioners would like to make a motion in a second.
Commissioner Elizabeth, Commissioner Eccles here. I make a motion that we approve concept plat for Living Word Church Ministries, parcel ID 09, F as in Frank, 1002000471368.
Do I have a second?
I think we said concept plat, but this is the subdivision.
Yeah, this is for.
Just say subdivision plat. This is the one, agenda item 1. I think it's subdivision
That's
plat.
it.
Sorry.
Right, for
procedural.
item 1.
It
Yep.
does say concept
I
plan.
did say.
Oh, it does. I'm sorry. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Do I have a second?
Mr. Chair, I'll second that motion.
Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Okay, moving on to the next one, similar to the first one, right? Our second item of new business is Living Word Church Ministries, same applicant, 0 Sonoya Road, same parcel ID, request to review the concept plat and building elevations. So staff, I'll now ask you to present the staff analysis on recommendations for this agenda item.
Absolutely. Our second request tonight is the concept plan. Here's the site again for a quick refresher. Does anybody need me to go over the site again?
No.
Okay, thank you. They have a accurate, up-to-date, and certified survey included with this request as well. And the concept plan includes all buildings and structures, driveways, parking facilities, walkways, landscaping, buffer easements, utilities, and all other required infrastructure. And this is their proposed elevations for their building. Additional elevations. And they have also included a proposed floor plan as well. So in detail, the applicant is proposing a new 3,276 square foot building. The site will have ingress and egress along Sonoya Road. The applicant is also proposing a stormwater facility in the east central corner of the site. The building will consist of all brick front facade facing Sonoya Road with 2 cathedral windows in the center and exterior lighting on both sides of said windows, with the other facades being brick midway up and the rest of the facades being wood with standard windows. A covered double-door entryway on the side facade facing Valley Brook Drive. A covered single-door entryway on the facade facing Old Sonoya Road, with 2 other standard single-entry painted metal doors and a recessed entryway on the rear facade with a cathedral window in the center. The concept plan meets the setback and parking requirements of R1 in the Highway 74 Overlay District design standards. And staff has made a recommendation. Staff recommends approval of the concept plan with the conditions that A, the applicant must include a walkway from the right-of-way of Sonoya Road to the parking facility and a crosswalk from the mentioned walkway to the church entrance to meet the Highway 74 overlay regulations. B, the applicant must include the total developed vehicular area and a total landscape island area to meet the vehicular use area landscaping requirements. And also C, any significant modifications as determined by staff to the approved concept plan would necessitate a further review by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions now for staff regarding this piece of our agenda item?
Staff, I'm sorry, yes, question from Commissioner James. I didn't see anywhere the number of parking spaces that will be included
The number of parking spaces.
based on the number of parishioners.
Yes. For my review, I did count the number of parking spaces, and according to the zoning code, they did meet the requirements for their parking spaces.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Is a traffic study needed? I know I travel this way quite a bit and very familiar with Owen Road and some of those other areas. Is a traffic study needed for something along this lines or no?
From my understanding, I'm not totally sure if a traffic study is needed, but that is something that I can investigate for you guys and have an answer.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
And staff, how soon would the building take place for the church? How soon are we going to go into construction?
I think that would be something that a question would be better suited for the applicant. Depending on their resources, they'll probably be able to give you a more definite answer.
Okay.
Any other questions for staff? Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we had a question for you, the applicant, if you want to come back up here for just a minute. Commissioner?
Yes, my question. Do we have any idea how soon you'll start working on the site?
Our goal is as soon as you all tell us we can move the trees.
Okay. That's soon. Awesome.
Okay, that was my question.
Any other questions for the applicant? By the way, this is also the time, it's just that there are any other public comments that are out there, or certainly Mr. O'Neill can just speak on behalf. But any other questions for the applicant from the commissioners? No. Oh, hold on. Yeah. All right. No further questions for the applicant, I think, so we're good. Thank you so much, sir. If there's no additional questions or discussions, again, I will now call this item to a vote. So I need a motion and a second if needed.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Commissioner Devers here. Make a motion that concept plan, the Living Word Christian Ministries, Inc., parcel ID number 09F100200471368 be approved.
And that is the request to review the conceptual site plan and building elevations? Yes. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Commissioner Echols, second.
Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. I just like doing that, because that's fun. Awesome. Moving right along, our third item of new business really is for us as the commissioners is the ZPL text amendment, this short thing. Text amendments to Chapter 80 for the purposes of reconciling the City of Fairburn ordinances with state-mandated procedural updates. I believe that's House Bill 1405 and House Bill 916. Love to have some comments from our esteemed staff.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed all of the good reading from the changes. I made sure to print out the entire zoning code and highlight all the sections so you know specifically what the changes were. I will not go through all of the sections because
Thank you.
we will be here for 2 weeks. But at a very high level, this is, of course, a new regulations from the state. It is required by local government. It is already effective. We just have to make sure that our zoning procedures comply with that. The articles outlined major changes. In terms of our zoning districts, we made sure to distinguish single-family detached from attached. And we went through and highlighted all of those sections. We have the administrative permits and use, appeals process, Article 6, 7, 8, and our definitions were also impacted, but all of those were highlighted. Did you have any specific questions?
Any questions about the Article 2 zoning districts from commissioners?
No?
None for me.
None at this time?
Okay.
Anything else major that we should be, want to highlight, or is that it?
No, that was it. This is required, so.
Right, absolutely. Well, we could have cut down some trees for you, right, to make these
I
packets, to
just
say the
wanted to
least.
make sure we were transparent and you knew exactly what those changes were, so I figured I'd go through and give you the entire thing and make sure we're all on the same page.
Thank you so much. And if anybody wants some light beach reading, please, you can take, right? Really, really good here. So this is now a motion to recommend the ZPL text amendment. So if I could have a motion and a second, just to motion to recommend. Anyone want to make a?
Okay. Commissioner James, I motion that we recommend the ZPO text amendment updates as outlined here by staff.
Awesome. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Chairman, I second the motion.
Awesome. All in favor of approving the motion to recommend the new ZPL text amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? That motion passes. All right, moving right along here. Now we will open it up for commissioner comments. We'll start here at the left and go down to my right. Commissioner Eccles, any comments?
No comments?
Awesome.
Well, one comment I would like to say that I'm pleased to see that we'll have a new addition to the community, one that is faith-based. Appreciate that. We have a lot of businesses that come to Fairburn. Not all are welcome or wanted, but you certainly are, so thank you, and we look forward to good things for you guys.
Fantastic. Commissioner?
To the members and pastor of Living Word Ministries, welcome. I look to see great things, to be able to visit, and that you all will be bringing a wonderful message to Fairburn. I'm sure that more of that is needed, and if there's anything that we can help with going forward, questions to be answered, Fairburn is always here.
Fantastic. And I guess a couple comments here. Make sure, as a resident of Fairburn, you come out on July 21st to our amazing concert series that is over here. It's one of my highlights of the summer. And congratulations to Creekside High School football, who will once again win the 5A.
All right.
Right, preseason ranked #1. Let's go Creekside. I think they're traveling, believe it or not, to California, if I'm not mistaken, right, to take on like one of the best teams in the country. So I'm pumped about that. So. Yes, absolutely. Adjournment. So, commissioners, I will now entertain the all-important motion to adjourn the public meeting. Do I have a motion in a second?
Commissioner James, I motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Awesome. I have a motion and a second to adjourn our meeting on July 11th, 2023. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that motion passes. Thank you all very much.